I'm Beth Bowles with the University of Florida, Escambia County Extension, and one of the most low maintenance type plants you can put in the landscape are shrubs. The good thing about them is once they are established, there's really not a lot you need to do with them. Average rainfall will provide the water they need, and pretty much if you fertilize every so often, they will get the nutrition from the surrounding soil. Now, the only kind of exception to that rule is when you place a shrub in an area where it just doesn't fit or is adapted. Now, the shrub I'm with now is called pineapple guava, and it is a beautiful edible plant. The petals in the spring are edible. You can flavor those in salads, and then later in the fall, it will have fruit that has a sweetness to it that you can enjoy too. It's not a well-known edible plant, but it's one that people should really consider. Now, unfortunately, this pineapple guava is really a feature to our garden here, but one thing that we have to be careful is when things aren't put in the right spot, it may be pruned in a manner that really distorts the form and shape of this plant. And that's what's happened here. So you really have to be careful that if you do need to prune something, you get some expertise help or really talk and read about how to prune that correctly, or you can destroy the form of that plant. So let's look a little bit closer at some of the pruning that was done and talk about why that's a problem. So when we look at our shrub from this angle, it has been pruned because there's a pathway here, and this would be a common practice of many homeowners. But unfortunately, the way it's been pruned, this side of the plant is kind of missing where the other side really hangs low, and so you've distorted the natural shape of this plant. Also, the pruning techniques that were used are called heading cuts, and on this particular plant, it was just randomly cut everywhere it needed to be, and these heading cuts have the potential to decay and also sprout a lot of growth in this area that's going to look strangely as it comes back out. Some of the cuts that were made left a big stub as well. That's not an appropriate cut here. What we wanted to do is actually take this back to the connection, look for our collar, and make a more improved cut over that area that's closer. If we leave big stubs, those tend to decay as well and cause issues back in the stem. Now, sometimes you have to make a cut that you don't necessarily want to, but really, you really need a partner with you when you're pruning, one that's stepped back that they can look, so when you take some of this out, you don't take too much away at once. It's always easier to take more later. This is really hard to repair once it's been pruned in this manner. What we're going to end up probably having to do with this shrub is really take quite a bit out of the other side to balance it. But you know, another option for a homeowner, if the plant is in the wrong spot, consider removing it altogether so you don't end up with a landscape plant that's really not as attractive as it could be. If you need more information on how to prune shrubs correctly, or even selection of shrubs so they're more suitable to your landscape, contact us here at the University of Florida, Escambia County Extension.